Hello, welcome. And on this video, I'm going to take us on a quick test drive on the inspect element tool. So the inspect element tool is located on almost all browsers, starting from Edge to Internet Explorer to Mozilla to Chrome. Okay, so why would we be needing the inspect element tool? Because JavaScript doesn't actually output on the fly on our screen. For instance, I want to write say hello, and if I try to go back to this file on the browser, so let me just try to show us, and if it loads, you see I see nothing on my screen. And if I view source, I kind of find out that I actually have the hello on my on my file, but it doesn't seem to be showing up on the browser. So why do we need inspect element tool? We need the inspect element tool to actually make us to be able to output values on the fly, and through DOM manipulation we are going to actually play with HTML and CSS and make our text show on the screen. I know this might sound a little bit foreign, but I believe with time, when we get to play along with this should I say nomenclatures, we would be able to see how easy this is. Okay, but for now I can't actually see this right now, but it's actually in my code. I can't see it on my browser. So what do? I need to console this. So there's a function called console.log. We're going to be using this a lot of time in this tutorial. Don't worry if you don't understand what I'm doing right now. I just want to introduce you to the console element tool. That's the inspect element tool. So if I head back to my browser on this project, I'll just kind of Ctrl+Shift+R to refresh, and I'm still seeing nothing quite alright. But if I right click and I go to inspect element and I go down to console, and I'm gonna see hello. Okay, so I'm seeing hello right now, and I'm having a kind of error here, and just definitely because I have something in this place. And funny enough, you see the use of the console. I think this is a good definition. It gives us errors. It outputs errors in our code, errors we wouldn't find out on the fly. And right here I'm seeing unexpected token identifier syntax error, and if I just wrap this up in the console.log function and just right there, and if I Ctrl+Shift+R, in fact, let me just load this on a new page so I could Ctrl+Shift+I, and we'll see the errors are gone. My JavaScript code goes here. Okay, so we'll see that the console tool is very important because it helps us see the error in our code. Maybe we have a kind of logic that doesn't seem to be outputting because we can't really see it on the fly on our computer screen. We would actually use the console function to the console function to actually display error. There are other ways to display, should I say, data or values on our screen, and one of the other ways is the alert. Okay, real quick, is the alert, and we write the alert just like we're doing the console.log, but just that doesn't show. Now the alert would show us a dialog box containing the text of what we added into it as a string. Again, don't be worried about that if you don't understand these terminologies now. With time, I believe we will get acquainted with this. Okay, so Ctrl+Shift+R to reload, and I have this thing on my screen. My JavaScript code goes here, and I click on OK, and now I see mock-up code options here. So it again is applicable on all browser, on Chrome, on Mozilla, on Edge. All you just have to do is click on the inspector element and click on the console tab. And if you want to close this anytime, sorry you can't see the other part of my screen, you could always close this right here. And if you look at the right hand side, it will tell you exactly where, if you're having an error, it's going to tell you exactly where the error is coming from. Like when we are having an error there, it was telling me on line 1 and on row 1:3. So it was telling me on row 1 and column 3, so I could easily locate my error, and yeah, I'm not having any error. So this is the row, this is the colon. You might have your text outputting or your function outputting, and if it's an error, you'd also have there. So if you click on persist logs, it's gonna pile up logs for you. Like in this case, it's gonna pile up log for you. Even when you refresh the page, you're still gonna see the log if the session is still continuing. If you remove the persist log, you will stop seeing it. So I stopped seeing it because I ticked on this thing. Okay, it also has the inspect element to also have other functionality, which I would leave you to check out on your P3. So we're just interested about the console function for JavaScript, okay? And in fact, I'm so fascinated. Let's start actual coding process. So in the next video, we're gonna define variables, and we're gonna see how variables is gonna help us to create dynamic effect or dynamic typing effect or type coercion dynamic typing effect on JavaScript. Okay, so see you in the next video.